I'm making this very short. He is way slower. Unless, I mean, like I said, I'm really hoping Death Battle though is going to show us up, and I'm okay with that. But I just, from the shows what I've seen, I've watched Full Metal, the whole thing, and Ivan's watched all of Airbender, so I know the Full Metal Alchemist is not a show about Dragon Ball speeds, or anything crazy. Like it's just not. It's not that. It wasn't that crazy of a speed gap. So.
Okay, so that's
That's
cool.
it. So as far as speed goes, I'm gonna say it right away. Once again, it's going to Baldo. Ong, Ang, Ong,
Aang.
Ang.
Aang. Yeah, there we go.
Yay!
But there's also another thing I did want to mention. He was also able to intercept an explosion, so much so because there was this character called Combustion Man, who was essentially Zuko hired to kill Aang and his friends. And he's a firebender from the Fire Nation, obviously. But what his bending is, he's able to obviously do what's called combustion bending, where he focuses a lot of his power in his forehead and shoot a beam that explodes on contact. And so, and this is I think this could be considered a reaction speed because when Combustion Man shot that laser, Aang was able. This wasn't a slow motion part. He was able to turn around, shoot some air, and at the exact moment, it exploded and sent them backwards. And as we all know, explosions can move really quickly. So that's another, thing for reaction. So I don't know if that could be considered a reaction, but that's still pretty fast, to see it coming and to immediately airbend before it exploded in your face. So that's one thing I also wanted to bring up. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so definitely when it comes, so his speed is really going to come from his airbending, and obviously in his avatar state, his is going to be a lot faster than that.
Because he's
Which
able to use the air and push him around and all that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I guess we should talk about durability, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there really isn't a lot of dirt. There really isn't too much in terms of his durability. He was also slammed into a tree. He was dropped a few distance, but he's all right. He crash landed hard to create a crater. He was struck by lightning and barely survived. He almost died during that moment. This was towards the end of the Bossing Say arc, which is in the Earth Kingdom. He almost died because he was kind of sucker punched by Azula. If you don't know who that is, she's like the sickest fucking bitch in the Fire Nation. Zuko's little sister, and that bitch is nuts. If you saw the finale, you know how crazy she is. But yeah, there really isn't a lot to go on in terms of his durability. But yeah, there's not really much. A lot of his, yeah. But well, I can always bring that up later. But there really isn't a lot of durability I can see. Most of the stuff he's going to be able to use a lot of earthbending to counter a lot of hard hitting moves. So it doesn't seem like he can take a whole lot of hits. So from what I'm seeing anyway, from what I'm remembering, guys, keep in mind it's been a while since I watched Avatar: Last Airbender, so I don't remember entirely of everything. But it seems like Aang is a bit of a glass cannon in my opinion because he can still take a few hits, but he can't take a lot of hits. If that makes sense.
Okay. Well, our boy here, Elric, he's got his automail side, and that's where he uses a lot to defend himself. He's able to body swords, bullets, claws, whatever's coming through his way. On the automail side of things, he even got smashed through a brick wall. His brother his brother got tossed into him, and for the record, his brother is put into a big ass samurai suit. It was a sacrifice that he had to do to save his brother. But yeah, this big 6-7 feet tall suit comes flying at him, and then he collides, and they go through a brick wall, and they get up and they continue. So he's definitely as far as durability goes, he's obviously able to take a lot of blunt force trauma. There's no doubt. And as far as bullets, sharps, because there's a lot of sharp, like Slicer, I think his name was. He could cut through steel, but he wasn't able to cut through Ed's automail.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as airbender, I'm gonna ask you real quick, Ivan.
Yeah.
Can he do like air slicing or sword? You know what I mean? Can he like whip the air so fast to cut?
Oh yeah, he can definitely do that. He can definitely use the air to cut, and he's also been shown to use that. He even use water as well to like slice through. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think he's definitely capable of slicing through with his
Okay.
air bending. Definitely,
What's the strongest thing he's cut?
he was able to use like what, as far as I remember, like this is kind of maybe this is not his strongest. Was what I remember at the top of my head. He was pretty much able to use water bending to like he can use water bending to slice through metal.
What type of
So
do you remember what material it was by any chance?
I'm guessing it's just normal steel.
Uh-huh.
Nothing really said. Nothing really occurred to me that it was iron or anything. So yeah, again, it's from the top of my head. I could be wrong, or maybe I'm just misremembering. But yeah, I think he definitely can slice through rock and maybe even steel with his bending.
Uh-huh. Okay, because the slicer guy that like it's been freaking forever. But in a
Uh huh.
nutshell, dude can cut through steel, but couldn't cut through the automail, and he had an upgraded model on beyond that. So I feel like our boy Elric could body it with the automail side of his frame. The other side, of course, is completely durable and human. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as that goes, I think that really kind of wraps up most of it because he really, at the end of the day, is just wall level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not really super durable. The show might, like I said, minus him blocking bullets with his metal side of his body. I keep saying metal, so please excuse me off of the autocorrect, but auto mail.
Right.
He can
Yeah.
stop. Like I said, he can stop this, and that. But he gets smacked through like a brick wall, and that's probably really where his durability kind of ends and lies.
Okay.
I just
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't really know anything. Like there's nothing really been shown beyond that.
Okay.
I would give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt that he could maybe be a step above that. But you know how
Mm-hmm.
it is. If they don't show it, you can't count it.
Okay.
So not
Okay. Fair
easy.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I guess from what it sounds like, in my opinion, they both are pretty much equal in taking hits. They're both a little bit of glass cannons, although it does sound like Edward can take a little bit more, at least from what I'm reading. Because what I remember from Aang, he doesn't take hits particularly well, especially in his Avatar state. Like,
Mm.
even, well, not say especially, but even in the Avatar state, his ability to take hits is, okay at best. But I think but I want to go into a subcategory, which is defenses. And so with his elements, he's able to create a lot of defense. He's able to create air shields that could deflect fire, create a tornado, to redirect a piece of stone. He
Mm.
was able to create ice walls to block arrows and to block Azula's fire attacks. He was able to create a barriers made of earth, to deflect her fire.
Yeah.
He was able to create at one point create an armor made of crystal, and even one made of earth and this is all to block Ozai, who's like the big baddie of the series. Because keep in mind, during their final battle, he was able to because at their final battle, there was something called the Sozin's Comet that really boosts a firebender's power by like 100% or even more. It's said to give them power of 100 suns. Because keep in mind, during the day, like I don't know if I talked about this with waterbending. Waterbenders get their power from the moon. That's when they're at the most powerful. During the day in sunny weather, firebenders are at the most powerful. So you can imagine that with the power of 100 suns, that's like 100 times more powerful. And Yang's, ability and Yang's defenses with earth, air, and water is able to, block it to an extent. So yeah, so that's a lot of power that his defenses can take. So and this is all terms of defenses. So were there anything that Edward had defensive wise, or is this something we already mentioned?
Yeah, we kind of really went over the whole defensive durability level there with him. He can try to use a lot of his alchemy to protect himself. He can put up it's his surroundings, so it's subjective, really. If he's around stone or whatever, yeah, he can just put up a wall of whatever to defend himself. But
Were there were there
from
anything?
what oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, was there anything shown that his defenses could take a really big hit?
Yeah. Well, mostly though. I mean, big hit is kind of one. It's a subjective conversation. Like when you say big hit, I'm thinking in my world, it's like, well, shit. If I could survive getting hit by a fucking wrecking ball, I'd be a beast, right?
True.
But at the end of the day, Edward is pretty much like brick wall level. Like he got smacked by his bro, went through a brick wall, got up and kept fighting. And he's taking on people that are strong. Unfortunately, there's really no scale to determine what their output is
Okay.
that I know of. So I'm gonna say it that way.
Okay, fair enough. So, was this like are these feats from like the original Full Metal Alchemist or Brotherhood as well? Just out of curiosity.
What's up?
Was this from Brotherhood or the original Metal Alchemist? Just out of curiosity.
The original. I never watched the Brotherhood, and I'll probably get some crap for that because clearly it's a most people say it's considered the original continuity of it all.
Okay, fair enough. So, well, I guess we should just talk about their individual abilities. They're really special stuff aside from their elements. Aang has obviously I talked about his avatar state where he pretty much boosts all of his power and gives him all the knowledge and the experience of all the past avatars before him. And here's the $1,000,000 question: Aang has another type of bending called energy bending, which which he was able to use to take away the bending of Ozai and someone called Yanote. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if I got that wrong. But basically, it allows you to bend the. Hold on, I gotta look this up for a minute. So give me a second. Its ability to bend another person's life energy, which according to the lion turtle, which was a special entity that was able to perform energy bending and considered the last one of its kind, that yeah, but this was a long time before they actually bend the elements. How they were able to bend the energy within oneself, and so with his energy bending, he was able to take away Ozai's bending powers. So my thing is, will his energy bending work on Edward's alchemy? Would it be able to take away his alchemy powers? That's the $1,000,000 question.
Okay, good point there. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Like you got me really thinking. So I'm gonna have to leave it up to happenstance. But we can make a prediction here at the end because I feel that that's obviously okay. Whether it works or not, that's going to be in the Airbender's benefit. We know that.
True.
We can go ahead and make a prediction now, or is there something else you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say to give our prediction now.
Okay, you can go ahead and go first if you want.
Okay, so I would say I'm just gonna go right off the bat and say I think Aang is gonna take this one due to his avatar state where because he's gonna have all the knowledge and the experience of the avatars which can span decades, and with his avatar state he's gonna have like continental level power to move an island, to cause a volcano to erupt. And these are his past avatars, but because he's an avatar himself, and when he goes into that state, he gains that knowledge. He's more than capable of doing all those same feats, so it's not an outlier. So in terms of speed and attack potency, I think Aang got this. But
Yeah.
That's just what I'm basing on because I'm not sure what Edward can do in Brotherhood. If anyone wants to elaborate his best feats in that, please do so. But from what I'm getting right now, as of right now, I'm gonna give the initial edge to Aang. What about you, man? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's kind of really a. I don't want to say the word Shiza stomp because I know some people get all mad because it's like, oh, it's never that. It's like I don't know, man. I just don't see Elric having a chance in this fight. Honestly, like I don't like. They're two different levels, and I'm hoping Death Battle can if they find something, obviously once again, if they find something just amazing, blows me out of the water, I'm all down and listening to it, and I respect
Absolutely.
that. But when you really come down to the power differentials of the two, they are on two just separate levels. Um, like I said, Edward at most is like building level when he starts messing with his alchemy, doing some stuff, and then we
Mm.
got freaking when dude starts messing with his bending, he's like straight up. We're talking like town or like continent level. And then when it comes to durability, Edward could protect himself, right, with his alchemy. So I'm not gonna take that away. But once again, that goes both ways. But here's the thing that's really gonna separate the two is the speed. Aang is way faster than Edward. He's just gonna speed blitz him. That's all I could see out of it.
That's true. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but yeah, Aang also has a staff that he. Did I mention this already about the staff?
No, you never mentioned it.
Okay. Then I should have mentioned this before, and I apologize for that. But he has a staff, that he's able to use. Oh, he's also able to use to amplify his bending, to, create, all types of stuff like that. But he's able to use it to fly. Like with his air combined with his air method, he's not just gliding; he's flying. So, in terms of maneuverability, I think he may have the edge in that regard too. Because I don't know about Edward's maneuverability, but I do know that with his because he's already great maneuverability even without his staff, with just with his air bending, with his air scooter, he can like to stop his descent and all that stuff. But with the staff, he's gonna have a lot of maneuverability combined with his already natural speed.
Yeah, like I said, Edward really is going to rely on the elements around him wherever he's at. What is wind's weakness? Is there a weakness to the wind element and airbender?
There really isn't a weakness per se,
Like
I guess.
fire could just be blown out, right? I mean, ice or earth. Like there's, at the
Yeah,
end of the
that's
day, yeah.
yeah, that's true. Like I said, I feel like their elements are gonna cancel each other out because if he has fire, he's gonna douse it with water. If he has air, he's probably gonna use it to make his fire attack stronger.
Well,
Earth,
Edward has to be around it though. He can't just conjure it out of thin air.
what about
Like he
fire?
doesn't matter. Like Edward has to be like what my point is whatever's around Edward, he can use it.
Oh, okay. So like even fire himself, like he can't create fire by himself.
No, he's not.
Oh,
He's not a bender. What he is he's an environmentalist bender, so to speak.
okay, fair enough.
So like if like he's in a playground with swings and sand, he would clap the ground and like turn that sand into like he'd be like Gara, you know.
Okay,
If he was in the ocean, he could mess with that water and be the water bender, so to speak. Like he definitely has an amazing ability, but when you throw him into here the problem, like this is a simulated battle. Like where is he going to be put? Is there any element that could even give him a chance? I just don't see it working in his favor. I just don't.
okay. Well, my best guess is probably going to take place on like on a beach or an island, maybe. Where they have access to their water, to Earth, and all this type of stuff. I'm guessing it's going to be that type of environment or something
Mm-hmm.
similar to it. But yeah, because I know Aang obviously they can create his own fire. He can use his air, and just like Edward, he's also going to need to use the earth and the water around him because waterbenders can't create their own water unless they're sweating. If they're sweating, they can use their water from that, but that's very limited.
Nice.
So yeah, I guess it's this is almost clear cut. I think I think Aang's just gonna take this one all the way. And like I said, are there any Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood fans? Is there anything he's done in that series that you think would, help him in this battle? Then please let us know in the comment section down below, because I'm really curious to know what he's capable of in that too. But for now, I think it's safe to say Aang's got this pretty much like 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that seems pretty in the bag to me.
Yeah, right on. So, and I guess that's about it. That's our prediction. So, is there anything you want to talk about a little about, bro, or do you want to wrap it up?
No, it's time to wrap up.
All right. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for enjoying this reaction. If you guys want to join my nation or my boy NidgeDFX's nation, your chance to do so is in the description down below. Follow us on our Twitter, subscribe to our channels. We're gonna have a playlist, something to the left, some shit to the right, to the back knot, and I'm stopped. I always go with that. That stuff to get your feet wet. If you're gonna, wink up a tea, y'all go find us out there. So believe it. My name is Ivan, my boy Nidge, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
We're out.
Peace.